Hi, everybody, and welcome to Lab 7 Managing Password Security. In this case, you are a security team member of Structured Reality, as we are on all the labs. And what we're doing is going to be working on this organization's security stance. And recently there's been a bunch of account breaches resulting in impersonation attacks. And you're concerned about the organization's password policy, and you want to see if it is sufficient or not. So you decided that you're going to do some research and experimentation to explore various means how passwords may be compromised. And it's important to understand the threat before defense strategies and mitigation can be designed and implemented, so you implement the correct one. So we're going to be first talking about password spraying, and we will be working with a machine called Kali, our Kali Linux environment. So let's get started. So we already are on our Kali Linux VM. We are going to log in with root and our password. And if you get this error message, just double check your caps lock key. And if not, you hit an accidental key, just go backspace. And then eventually it'll let you in. So once you're in this lab, you're going to go ahead and you're going to go to Terminal Emulator up here. And we're going to use a command. And this is going to be, we're going to create a mount point. So what we're doing is creating a directory first. So we're going to go ahead and create mdir/mnt/hr. And we're going to hit enter. Next, we're going to use the concatenate command to view a list of users from a file. And we're going to do this. We're already on step 4. You can check off steps 1, 2, and 3. So what you're going to do next on step 4 is type in concatenate users.txt, and you're going to view a list of users from MS10. So we get this list of users. So once we have this, we have a list already of our discovered passwords. So we need to perform our first submission attempt using the following command. And this is a very long command that you have to type in. So let's type this command in, and we're going to try to see if we can access this mount. For our mount point, we're going to 10.1.16.2/HR. And we're going to /mount/HR, the O switch. And let's move this over a little bit. Username equals Pat. If you get an error message, just go ahead and take a look at your command to make sure it's in the correct syntax, correct order. And mine is an invalid option, so I pressed 0 by accident, so I'm just going to correct that really quick and we can continue on. So if you make a mistake, it's okay. So now we're being asked for a password for Pat, and we're going to try the first password here, ABC123. So let's try that. And we get an error, access is denied. So we get this access denied message because this is the incorrect password. So this is not. So we're going to the easiest way to type this command, the correct command again, is to up arrow once, and you're going to try Pat again, and you're going to try the next password, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's go ahead and do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we still get another error. So this means that when you get this error message, it means ABC123 is not the password for Pat, and neither is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you decide to, rather than go through this list of passwords, you're going to create a list, and basically you're going to pass this information over to the server so that you can see if it mounts. So let's create this. And what we really need to do first, again, is create this file when we're using this automated tool, and we're going to do that first. So we're going to enter the following command. We're going to create, I'm going to type in echo. I'm going to up arrow again just to save myself from typing. And add another symbol there. And we're going to hit enter. And then I'm going to we have a single quote. D, single quote. And then we're going to look at the file that we created, pass.txt. I know I didn't go over this, but I will go over it now. When you're typing these echo commands, these greater than, less, this greater than symbol or less than symbol, however you want to word it, is it's taking ABC123 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and password, and pushing this and what we call piping, or sending it over to a text file, and we're creating this text file this way. By using the concatenate command, we're looking in the contents of the password.txt file, and we're seeing what is in there to make sure that we have the correct passwords in there for our text file. So now we have, and one of the warnings that you see here is that you need to make sure that this spelling is correct with each and every password that you put in here. It is going to check it. So what you also want to do is make sure you score this task to validate that it's been done, and we've created this file. Now we're going to go into Hydra Wizard, and we're going to go type in Hydra-WIZ Wizard in the open terminal. And then we're going to type these following commands in. Okay, if there is an, it's asking for us to type in certain things. So we're going to type in service. And then we're going to type in SMB for server message block. If you accidentally close it like I did, you can go back and open it up. But we are on step 11, and we're going to go ahead and type Hydra Wizard. And I did not spell Hydra right. Make sure you spell Hydra Wizard right. And now we're going to be asking, so it's asking for the type of service. And here for the service, you're going to type in SMB for server message block. The target is going to be the file server, MS10, and we're going to type in the IP address of that server to see if we have access. And then we have a file for username, so we're going to type in, we need to type in where our usernames file is, or what it's called, text, and we enter it. And then we want to type in our password, put the password file here, which is pass. And then we're going to hit enter. We're just going to hit enter for anything that is empty because we don't need it. And at the run command, we're going to hit yes. So do you want to test for passwords? We hit enter. Port, we want to hit enter. If there's module options, we're going to hit enter. And do we want to run the command now? Of course, and we're going to hit yes. And there we go. So now we are done with step 11. Let's look over the results. So what we need to do is answer this question, and these are the results. So we're going to see that admin is using a password called password. Okay, Jamie is also using a password called password. So these two are using a password out of this password file. And this is what Hydra did. It took the usernames list and it took the password list and see if it could communicate using a protocol called server message block, or SMB. And if it can connect to it, it is going to give you a report saying that 2 valid passwords were found from that password list. And as you can see, oops, that's not it, but right here is where it is. It says found. So your question is, what 2 accounts are using the same name? And that is, obviously, you can see it here in green, admin and Jamie. Let's score this and see what we have. We have done this. Congratulations. Now what we want to do is, now that we know the passwords are, so we're going to go over this command to see if we can connect to it successfully. So let's up arrow to your mount point, replace Pat with Jamie. And hit enter. Now we're going to type the password. So our password for Jamie was PA, capital P, A, $, W0RD, and we're going to hit enter. And we connected. We did not get an error message. So now that we're connected to this, we can actually do something called LS. LS is listing, or it's the equivalent of DIR. So we're going to go LS MNT/HR and hit enter. And now we can see everything that is in that folder. We see an acceptable use policy, employee CVS, and a terms doc. So we see these files that are in here because it's mounted. So we're going to leave this terminal window open, and we're going to do these check marks, and then we're going to go. Hi everybody, and today we're going to be performing in this part of the lab, we're going to be performing a dictionary password attack. So if you had to stop and go back, go ahead and go back into your Kali Linux VM, log in with the credentials, and if your terminal window is still open, great. If not, you can go ahead and click on the terminal window icon in the top. So right now we have the first command. We're going to go ahead and concatenate and look at a file called ms10 hashes.txt to see what we have in there. And I used the fast keys. It allowed me to retype a command I had in previously. And these are the results of the MD5 hash. Look at admin has a 500 and a 501. So we can check this off on step 3. We're going to go to step 4. where we're going to display a list of the password files so that we can now we're on step 5, and we're going to go ahead and type in our command here. And I had already previously typed it in. And it's not something you want to do is try to tab over. So let's try this again and make sure that I just hit enter if that pops up. Equals. And we do not have a space on that slash, so we're going to use this one. We're still on step 5. It's a very long command. Please take your time entering these commands in because they are a lot long. They're very long commands, and a mistake will still run, but it may error out. It may cause your scoring to be bad like it did with me. I'm going to hit enter, and now it's created this file for us. So now I am going to check off step 5. And I am going to go to step 6. So now we need to use the show command here and the font to display all the cracked passwords reliably. So it's session completed, so you're going to make sure that you get that. If you did not, please repeat step 5 and check your command again. That's probably where your error is, because you need that in order to proceed, or it will not create this file. Okay, I'm going to double check my command here. John _show space _format equals nt space ms10 hashes.txt caret, not caret, greater than, less than, dict cracked text, Okay, so that's dictionary crack text. All right, so we're going to hit enter. And we should have, if you had a scoring error before, let's check it again. And you should be successful. Just remember that these commands are very, very sensitive. If you enter something wrong, it will not score correctly. So please double check your commands before you execute them. Now we are on step 7. So let's go ahead and view the files. So this is a Linux command, less dict dash. We're going to look at the cracked text. So for those of you who are not familiar with Linux, what is the less command? Less command basically is going to display the contents of a file or command output, but one page at a time. So let's go ahead and hit enter. So now you see that we have, these are all the passwords. Admin has password, Alex has picture, Blake has password. Now, how did it find these? Because these are common words that are listed in a dictionary file. And John the Ripper is looking at this dictionary file and comparing it with accounts that have these passwords in their dictionary file and passing it along to a text file so that it can be opened and we can look at it. We can see Kennedy has secret 7, password 1, QWERTY, princess, ABC 1 2 3. And if we hit enter, it would go to another page, but now we only have 12 passwords, so it will display it, and then we can hit enter and it will end. And then we are at the end of that. So let's go ahead and check off this. If you want to exit this file, you can hit Q to quit. It will end it. So now we're going to display the accounts that have not yet been compromised. So we're going to do this. We're going to run another command here, John and John the Ripper. We're going to use John. Show equals left space double dash format equals NT. Hashes. TXT. Hit enter. And these are the accounts that have not yet been compromised. So you completed step 8. You can leave the terminal window open for next and we can check this work. So let's go ahead and perform a brute force attack. So I've already entered, I'm already in Kali Linux. I'm not going to need to do this. My terminal window is open. And so what we want to do is clear the history of cracked passwords. So we're going to use this command to do this. rm tilde dot John John dot pot. So this is going to clear the history of cracked passwords, the one that we used in the dictionary attacks in the previous episode. So this will allow us to do a brute force attack. So now what we are going to do, and we are on step 4, which is to run the next command. And I am going to increase this by 15 minutes. If you do have time, it will let you do it a couple of times. So we're going to initiate the following command so that we can do a brute force attack. Okay, so I entered the command. It's John _ format equals NT. And let me change that because it's all lowercase. Let's make sure that we don't have any error messages. NT space _ incremental ms10 hashes.txt. That is the full command. Verify it before you run and execute it. And this is going to allow us to do our brute force attack. Our brute force attack, as we talked about, is a method, a hacking method that uses trial and error to crack passwords, login credentials, encryption keys. And this is done it's automated by looking at trying random characters each one at a time to see if it does. A good example would be to watch the ending sequence of a very old movie called War Games with a very young Matthew Broderick and Dabney Coleman, where the Whopper computer is actually trying to break nuclear missile codes by trying to randomly guess or try characters in order to launch the nuclear missiles, and doesn't succeed. But it's a good thing to watch. If you're in my class, I usually play this video. So I'm going to hit enter. And I'm going to check off step 4 before we go on. So we can always press spacebar to see the status on the updated progress and the time elapsed. And you do have a little tidbit of information in here talking to you about what it is, what the default modes are. You should see some quick successes that popped up, which are these: 123 Pat, Taylor, default account, Blake, Ryan, Alex, and Jordan. We see those in there. And then we should see several more passwords come up. In this case, you're going to allow the attack to run for 5 minutes, and then we'll press Q to quit. So I will be right back once this has finished, once my 5-minute timer has elapsed. So as we said in our instructions, we're waiting for 5 minutes, or you're waiting to see if Renee's account is cracked. And we do see Renee's account is cracked. There's Renee, and we have her password is QWERTY. And so we're going to check step 6 off, and we're going to press Q to quit. And now we've aborted it. If we let it run longer, it would go ahead and do more searches for this, but we just need this since it's a time lab to do this. So we're on step 7 right now, and we are going to display the following compressed passwords along with the information from the hash source file. So we're going to type this command, John show format nt5 hashes.txt again. So we're going to type the show command. Show space _ format equals NT space MS10 dash hashes dot text. I'm just going to blank this out and hit enter. Now, these are going to tell us, we see we have Alex has picture 1, we have Taylor has ABC 1, 2, 3, Renee has QWERTY, and this is a, this is along with the hashes of the accounts. These are different accounts. You can see that the last one here in this hash is different than this hash. And we are going to use step 7 is done. So now we are going to enter the following command to save our brute force attack. So, and then we're going to score it to make sure that we have, so this is why we always want to make sure that we are keeping this. So I've up arrowed to get part of the command in. And now we want to put this, we want to send this over to, or pipe it to a file called brute dash cracked dot text. Okay, and then we're going to hit enter and check off step 8 and hit score, and let's see if we have any problems. If you're getting an error message like I did before previously, double check your commands, go back and try to rerun them. Okay, and make sure that the correct spelling is there. NT is capitalized. Make sure that you have all the syntax correct. So now we're going to use the less command to show a compressed file, and we are of this brute force file. And as you can see, this is the results of this command. We see Alex. If we want to continue, we can hit spacebar. There were only 10 in this file. We did not let it run anymore. So then you can go ahead after looking through these. If the file was longer, you could use the up and down arrows on your keyboard to look at the details of what you've captured in your John the Ripper crack. Okay, so we are going to check off step 9, and we are going to enter Q to quit this and go into the next command, which we have is to see what has not been compromised yet. So John, so we're going to show equals left space double dash max length is 6. So this is going to tell us that we are looking for a maximum password length of 6 characters. Which is great. Helps us filter out information from what we have. Double check our commands, make sure everything looks good before we run it. Oh, wrong command. Up here we have it right here on step 10. Show left, format equals MD5 hashes. So So if you skip, make sure that you're on step 10. It's easy to get lost. That's why you need to put these check marks in where you're at so that you do not get lost in typing these commands, so you can save yourself some time. And that is our command. And this is what we found. These are the accounts that have not yet been compromised. So we're done with step 10. Now we're on to step 11, which I had that mistype. So let's go ahead and correct this. NT incremental now we want to make sure that we look at this max length, and you see this is what happens when you hit your space bar by accident. You can lose your spot. So make sure you check these check boxes off. I can't stress it enough. So we want to look at the max length. Equals 6. Got a little extra time. Hit that button. Make sure your command is correct. So this is another brute force attack where we're limited to a maximum password length of 6 characters. And I almost ran this command without typing a dash length. Make sure you don't make those mistakes. Hit enter. Let the attack run for a few moments. Make sure you check off you've completed step 11. And let's go to step 12. Just wait a little bit. I'm going to pause the recording so that they can generate. So I've let it run a few moments. I'm going to hit the space bar. So what you're going to notice that it's going to look at the ETA. The ETA for this commands to finish are going to be is going to take many hours to complete. So what you're going to do we're on step 12, is because it's going to take this long to complete, we're going to hit Q. This gives you an idea how long these brute force attacks can take. So we press Q to quit John the Ripper. And now we're going to change the max length to 7 for the same file. I'm just going to up arrow and change this value. Arrow over to the end of the line and hit enter. And then I'm going to press the space bar to see the ETA again. And the ETA says it'll be done by 2024, 10, 21, at 14:19. It's military time, so that would be 2:19 my time. And so since it's going to take that long, we're going to press Q to quit, session aborted, and this is done. So what the takeaway should be from these two particular labs is to see how a password spraying attack occurs. You performed that, how you've done a dictionary attack and a brute force attack. So you can see the differences. Key takeaways is that these brute force attacks can take days, hours, depends on what you're looking for in the information. So now we're going to go to set the password policy. So in this lab, where we're setting the policy for the domain. So why are we doing this now? And here's the takeaway from this, is that now that we know that we are susceptible to password spraying, dictionary attacks, and brute force attacks to compromise these passwords, we're going to set a policy in place so that we can actually have some type of security in here. And there's a few changes that we're going to make to password and account lockout policies for this Structurality domain. So we are right now going to switch over to our DC10. I click on the colleague name up here and then change over to DC10. Now I'm going to be connected to this. And what we're going to do is hit Control-Alt-Delete. And we are going to log in as a Structurality administrator. As we already seen here, we're already in. We can go ahead and type the password. And we're going to go in. My caps lock key is on, so I have to turn that off. Good morning. Okay. So once Server Manager opens up, we can minimize Server Manager. And we're going to look for power. We're going to go into PowerShell. So we're going to hit the magnifying glass, and we're going to either type in PowerShell, or you could use the type text here to do this. And if it doesn't, keep trying. It does it again. And what you're looking for is Windows PowerShell. Do not select the ISE. That is a different tool. And we're going to run PowerShell here and run it as administrator. Okay, we're going to get the UAC prompt. We're going to hit yes. And we are done with steps 3 and 4. So now we are in the administrator console for PowerShell. So we're going to go in PowerShell. So we're going to go ahead and check step 5. And we're going to import this Active Directory, this module called Active Directory. And we're going to run this, and it is going to execute. And now we're going to look at the AD default domain policy for passwords. So we are going to click on step 6, and then we're going to click on this type text. And this is what it's doing. It is looking at the password policy for Structurality, which is the domain that we're already on, and it is going to give us some information. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the default policy settings that are currently defined. So what are currently defined? Let's look at this list. We have account lockout threshold. Is that there? Yes. So we check this off. Do we have minimum password length? Yes, we do. It is 7. What about minimum password age? That is also there, but it is not this number. So we see that it is we see it's different. It's not 3, so we're going to leave that off. And we are going to look for lockout duration of 0015. So let's see, we have a lockout duration of 30. And we're looking at a complexity enabled is equal true. So let's see, it is at the top. So we select this. And the maximum password age is 42. And we do see that number here. So we're going to select this and click score. And if you're asking yourself the question, why if you didn't score it correctly and you selected something that was different, why minimum password age is because look at this field here. Minimum password age is 1, not 3. Lockout duration, even though it is here, it is 30, not 15. So we are going to go to step 7. And in step 7, what we're going to do is make some changes here. So in here, we are going to, these are the changes that we're going to make. Sorry. We're looking at the observation window is going to be changed to 15 instead of 30. The lockout duration is going to be changed from 30 to 15. I'm sorry, I think I said the previous one reversed. We're going to change observation window from 30 to 15, just a correction there. And the maximum password age is 365, where we have 42. And we are looking at the minimum password age, and the minimum password age is 1. We're going to change that to 3, and we're going to change the minimum password length from 7 to 12. So we're going to check this off. There's really nothing to do other than review and compare these information. And so what you're going to do is run these commands to change these policies. You're going to do one at a time. So let's check step 8 and do one at a time. Okay, so we have our type text and we're running the first one. That is done. Then you could run the second one. Then that is done. You run the third one. Once it completes, you can go to the next one. The next one. And the next one. It is a good idea if you are not familiar with PowerShell to copy these commands to a notepad file, which you can do, so that you can have this for reference when you're in the workforce, so that if you need to change it to so if you want to change this in PowerShell, you can do so without having to go into the GUI, okay? Plus, it will give you more practice in this. Now, what we want to do is to enter the following command to display the results of our changes. So we're on step 9, check step 9 and execute that command. And now we need to compare our results. So what we are comparing it to is this information up here. You're going to look out for lockout observation, that is 15. Lockout duration is 15. The lockout threshold is 3. The maximum password age is 365. And the maximum password age is 3. As well as the minimum password length has been changed to 12. Once that is done and you've checked this, you can and you've confirmed, you can confirm that your work is complete, and you can go to the comprehensive questions. Okay? I'm going to pause this to give you some time to go ahead and do these. So for the first question, what is password spraying? It is trying known passwords against many user accounts. So what security measure can we do to avoid or bypass this password spraying attack or preventing it? And that is by setting an account lockout. If they're trying random passwords, if we set a lockout to 3, it is going to say, okay, we tried 3 passwords and now the account's locked, so we can't go any further, and they will lose interest, hopefully, or try another account. So what is the primary factor that determines the likelihood of success of a dictionary password cracking? And that is the size of a dictionary file. So what you have to understand is that these are text files, and these text files have sizes. The more information that's in it, the bigger the file gets as far as size goes. And meaning that the more passwords that dictionary file has, or common words or have. So it is size of the dictionary file. So what can we do to prevent brute force attacks or as a defense of that? And that is increasing the complexity of the password using a $, a special character, such as a $, ampersand, so on and so forth, depending on what your system allows. a number, a capital letter, lowercase letters, and making a certain length also helps. Which domain password policy has the greatest impact on the strength? And that is making it resistant to brute force attacks, and that is minimum password length. By requiring a longer password, we are making it more complex to crack with a cracking tool such as John the Ripper. Now, once you have completed this and you have gone, you can go to next to grade, and then you can make sure that everything has been completed, submit, and then yes, you can submit for grading. Once you've completed and you graded, you could exit the lab and continuing on to the next. Thank you.